Good morning, everyone. Today is the fourth day of our presentation. Today is my presentation topic is themes of Jude the Obscure. About the author, Thomas Hardy. The poet and novelist Thomas Hardy is perhaps most famous for his powerfully visual novels concerned with the inexorability, inox- inexorability of human destiny. His work unfolds against a rural background drawn in elegy for vanishing country ways, but which also provide much needed calming relief. One of the most renowned poets and novelists in the English literary history, Thomas Hardy was born in 1840 in the England village of Higher Beckington in the county of Dorset, strongly identifying himself and with his work with Dorset. Hardy shows himself as a successor to the Dorset dialect poet William Butts, who is been a friend and his mentor. Hardy called his novel the Wessex novel after one of the kingdom of Anglo-Saxon Britain. Of Jude the Obscure this is a last completed novel by Thomas Hardy. Themes of Jude the Obscure: free will and human frustration, marriage, fate, human predicament, social criticism, human and society, and religion. First, free will and human frustration. Humans are becoming aware that their lives are governed by all ideas and all institutions, and they decide to break out these obsolete forms. This modern spirit questions all beliefs and institutions, and they seek new ones to give up what is now the tie to the unknowns and new and hence to experience loneliness and frustration as he searches a one. Specific, Specifically in the novel, Hardy depicts characters who raise questions about such things as religion, beliefs, and social classes. The conversation of marriage and elite educational institution and who feel in the absence of the all certain that the universe may be governed by a mysterious and possibly malign power. Another another theme is marriage, and this is every novel and every writer this use these themes is a marriage. In the way, this book is starting a whole debate on the institution of marriage. Hardy does not necessarily suggest that marriage is automatically bad. He just make it clear that he believes people should be able to step away from a marriage if things to get dire. He also make it clear that marriage is not a necessarily linked to love in any way. So it's obvious that a decent understanding society would accept Jude and Sue relationship because they truly love each other, regardless of whether they are married or not. The novel is a simple deliberate against marriage, but instead illustrates a complex, contradictory situation. Sue and Jude want their love and be true and spontaneous, but also totally monogamous and ever starting. The epigraph to the novel is the letter killeth, which comes from a quote from the Jesus in the Bible. The letter killeth, but the spirit gives light. Hardy intended this quote to refer to marriage where the contract of the institution skills joy and true love, but Hardy purposefully live of the optimism of the spirit, Jude and Sue. Joy is fleeting even where they are only following nature and law. In the end, find no good answer for now properly, love and life together. By the novel, tragic and Hardy still leaves the question of marriage unsolved, emphasized only is disconnected with the institution of his stance. The third, fate, human predicament. Throughout the book, Hardy subjects his character to many hardships and unlucky coincidence which come to feel like fate, whether their fate is interpreted as a supernatural punishment for the rebelling against religion or a faith determined by a society structure and throughout independent sensitive shoe like Jude and shoe. Fate looms over the character in the other situation as well, like when Jude tries too hard to get into a college but away fated to fail because they are probably in the class. They become desperate and start to believe that it's better never to be born than to live in such a cruel world. The climax of the novel, Little Father Time's murder suicide, are portrayed in the inevitable result of the situation in which he was arrested, a product to divorce and depression and bad luck, at which the marriage questions hardly gives no easy answer to regarding fate. Two seems to imply that humans should struggle against their fate, but at the same time he shows the fatal and struggle usually is. Another is social criticism. Much of the novel served as a visual for Hardy's criticism as English Victorian society. Most of this critique is aimed at the institution of marriage, but Hardy also target education class dividing and hypocrisy. And this time, this novel is a Victorian time, and Victorian time is also a hard time because this time no not education, marriage, and Christianities are everyone's are believed that human in society. Chu, beside, is a super singly modern and complex heroine of her time. Throughout her character hardly brings up many gender-related issues. Chu is a unique and Victorian society in that she lives with a man without marrying them. His wife is undergraduate student friend, so is a highly intelligent, was very well read, and she rejects the traditional Christianity of her society and Hardy, Hardy's main character of Shu, despite her intelligence of independence, Shu fails at her endeavors throughout the book and throughout her suffering. Hardy critiques the society that punish her heroine and he unmarried, disarrayed woman, and she has power in society. Religion is everywhere and every place. Along with the marriage and society, Hardy spent much of Jude the Obscure critically religion and the institution of Christianity is often portrayed. Christianity is a life depend and the belonging the latter that killeth. In the contrast, Shu is introduction is a kind of pre-Christian entry and enter pagan spirit, and she first appeared by figure of the ancient Greek god Venus and Apollo. Jude meanwhile hopes to join the clearly as part of his intellectual pursuit at a model of Judaism. Shu words why realism should be honored above Athens or Rome, but Jude is mesmerized but city when is important in Christianity. And he seems to reject Christianity that is over concerned with the tradition but doesn't portray paganism in the atheism is particularly fulfilling attention either. Conclusion. The themes is Jude the Obscure are closely intertwined. The problem of marriage in the pain of godness, excitement, religion, hypocrisy, the brutal class system, and gender equally conspire to destroy to life Jude and Shu. Nevertheless, they try to live their lives honestly and with kindness according to belief and principle that the spirit of the letter of the law. And this is a theme.
Yes, who is asking the question? Nilay and Nero, you have to ask the question.
Okay. So, Nidhi, yeah, you discussed that the themes, what kind of major themes were there in the Jude the Obscure novel. So, according to you, which theme is more predominant than others? According to you, which theme in the novel is more predominant, predominant, and why in the novel? Please.